they're the same type of villain, except they use different methods, you know?
Like, you look at man over the periods of time, in order to create change, he's turned to a violent method like revolution and that, right? And revolution, you kill someone, you replace them with another system again, you know? But this way, it's like people are trying to, they're saying, right, well, we want change, but we don't want to create it through violent means, we want to create it through a passive means. And the way to create change is through communication. Like, if you can sit down and talk to people on a personal level from any country about anything, that's going to create change.
We're taught that this lump of concrete that we're living on, this lump of bitumen, is natural, and that's what we're supposed to live on, you know? What, you know, people...
So what, are you saying we should all go back and live in grass huts? Would that
No, not necessarily.
Things are accepted too easily.
We've got to slow down, we're moving too fast.
Yeah. Where's it all heading, you know? Look at where things are heading. And the way the world is at the moment, like, humanity's gone, right, and you're just a little person walking around for the big companies to make a profit out of. That's what it is. You look at what you do every day and have a look at how many big companies you support. You're just living.
The fact that basic things like food, clothing and housing have become luxuries for some people. There's people who think, gee, I wish I could live in a house. The fact that those things have become luxuries is just barbaric, you know.
As they increase the pressure, like these big industrial companies are feeding out, right? What's going to happen is people, like, they're striving to get cars now, and, you know, and a house and kids, you know, and let the kids go to a nice school,
2.5, I think it is.
you know, or whatever, and then. What's gonna happen? It's gonna go up more. Like, people are gonna, like, they won't be able to get a house anymore, so they're gonna be striving to get something like food or a flat, or it's getting harder all the time. Every year it's getting harder, and people, like, material possessions, right? You've got to own something. That's the way it is, you know. You've got to get a house or a car or something like that, and every year, like, you know, what's going to come down to, you know. You're gonna have something like, geez, I've got this bit of meat in my hand today.
Thank you.
seem to be saying, oh, we're anti-commercialism, we're anti-materialism, and yet here you are making money.
I'm not making that much money. I've put out 7 records at the moment. 4 of them are 7-inch EPs and 3 of them are albums, and I've got Depression's new Australia mini album coming out. But it does cost a lot of money to put out a record. By the time you've paid for artwork, the actual vinyl, the covers, you don't make that much money unless you can get your records licensed to other independent labels over in the States, and then they can sell a lot. But it's an uphill battle, you know. You can't. Most independent labels, most people that run very independent, sort of small independent labels, basically do it out of the love of the music rather than to make a lot of money. And if I ever got to the stage where I did put out a record and it did well in Australia and I got it licensed overseas, and sure, you know, we sell quite a few thousand copies like the bigger bands from overseas do, I'd probably put that profit back into a recording studio in Melbourne, so punk bands in Melbourne and in Australia could go through that studio and we could release stuff on a cheaper basis, you know.
And when you die, which you eventually do, which a lot of people don't
come to terms with,
yeah, they all take it away from you. There's death taxes and things like that, and the funeral parlours say, here, look, we're going to plant you in this pot of grass when you die, give us $2,000, you know. And that's just,
it's not who you are when you die, it's what you've got,
it's what you've got.
It's what you've made.
Like I walk through cemeteries, and you see, shut up Phil, and you see like these families, and they've got this big plot, and they've got all these big sort of like black marble sort of monoliths sitting there waiting for their bodies to perish so they can be buried under it. It's just another material possession. When you're dead, you know, people will walk through it and say, hey gee, look at that guy, he must have been rich, he's got a really big grave. And you go from one grid pattern, which is streets all going straight or a bit curvy sometimes, into a funeral fucking home, a graveyard, which is all more streets and going like that, and all little plots. It's just occasionally curves. Yeah, it's just really sick.
The problem is some people are living their lives in graves.
Yeah,
you know, they every day
stress.
They're continually like they've got stress piled upon them, right? But they never ever they live their lives. They never ever think about. Maybe they do think about it, but they never ever really do anything against what's giving them so much pressure.
They've got no freedom.
There's a lot of people that don't want to work, but they work.
Most people
they've got to bring in the money.
Aim for the natural capitalist thing, or whatever. Not even capitalist. It involves everyone of getting married, getting a house, and then trying to get a car, trying to get a holiday house, and it goes on and on, you know. And people have, you know, going insane just trying to get that aim, you know. What's that aim for?
What do you think the individual should do about it?
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Do what you want to do. I mean, don't go around hurting other people, but just do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
have a good time.
Even if you
really short.
Can't change anybody's minds, even if nobody ever listens to you, at least you'll have the satisfaction of knowing I wasn't like them. I was at least something different. I wasn't one of the millions of people who just walk along through Flinders Street Station saying, gee, I'll finish work, I can't wait till I get home, and then get up the next morning and go, gee, I've got to go to work again. Just, at least you're not one of those people who've just been so programmed that they just can't see any other way of existing.
If you come here to watch a bunch of robots, there are no robots.
We're all different, we're all individuals, we've all got different emotions, different feelings.
Different opinions.
It's when you deny the individuality that, you know, you become
freedom,
you become a robot. And
about it. Think about it.
You see, it all depends what your definition of drugs is too.
Cigarettes are drugs, coffee's drugs.
Yeah, see, that's
beer's
another
drugs.
thing. Yeah, there's all these drugs that you can buy in the system, but the system says to you that other things are drugs and you can't